On May 25, 1979, a beautiful Friday afternoon in Chicago, families and business travelers boarded American Airlines Flight 191, a DC-10 bound for Los Angeles. The holiday weekend was just beginning, and the mood was light. But just moments after takeoff from O'Hare International Airport, the routine flight would turn into the deadliest aviation accident in United States history, a tragedy that would forever change the airline industry. The McDonnell Douglas DC-10 was a giant of the skies, a three-engine wide-body jet that had become a workhorse for airlines around the world. Flight 191 was under the command of Captain Walter Lux, a veteran pilot with over 22,000 flight hours. The weather was clear, and everything pointed to a completely normal departure. At 3:02 p.m., Flight 191 was cleared for takeoff. As the massive jet powered down runway 32 right, it accelerated smoothly towards rotation speed. On the ground and in the control tower, everything looked perfect. But as the plane lifted off the ground, something catastrophic happened. Unseen by the pilots, the entire left engine and its pylon assembly tore away from the wing, flipping up and over the top and crashing back down onto the runway. The separation severed hydraulic lines that controlled the leading edge slats on the left wing. These slats are crucial for providing lift at low speeds, and with them retracted, the left wing's stalling speed increased dramatically. In the cockpit, the pilots were suddenly fighting a desperate battle, heard a thud and likely felt the jolt, but they had no idea they had lost an engine. Worse, the engine separation had also damaged the electrical systems that powered their cockpit instruments, including the stall warning and slat disagreement indicators for the captain's side. Without the critical engine and with the left wing slats retracted, the plane began to bank uncontrollably to the left, the pilots following. Standard procedure for an engine failure: reduce their airspeed. But this was no standard failure. Slowing down was the worst possible thing they could do. With the damaged wing, the reduced speed pushed the aircraft past the point of no return. The left wing stalled completely. Eyewitnesses on the ground watched in horror as the giant DC-10 banked sharply to the left, its wings almost perpendicular to the ground. It was clear the plane was out of control. Just 31 seconds after leaving the runway, Flight 191 slammed into an open field and a mobile home park just a mile from the airport, exploding into a massive fireball. All 258 passengers and 13 crew members on board were killed instantly, along with 2 people on the ground. The scene was one of unimaginable devastation. The National Transportation Safety Board, then SPS, immediately launched one of the most extensive investigations in aviation history. The initial focus was on the DC-10 itself. The aircraft had a troubled history, and just 2 months earlier, a near disaster at 3 Mile Island had heightened public anxiety about technological failures. The FAA quickly grounded the entire US fleet of DC-10s, a move that sent shockwaves through the global airline industry. Investigators recovered the engine pylon from the runway and the wreckage from the crash site. They found a fracture in the pylon's rear attachment point, a clear sign of structural failure. The question was, why did it fail? The investigation shifted from the design of the aircraft to how it was being maintained. Then SPS made a startling discovery. They found that American Airlines, along with other carriers, had developed a maintenance shortcut to save time and money. Instead of following McDonnell Douglas's prescribed procedure of removing the engine from the pylon first, mechanics were removing the engine and pylon together as a single unit using a forklift. This unapproved procedure placed immense stress on the pylon's structure. During one such maintenance procedure on this specific aircraft, 8 weeks before the crash, the forklift had inadvertently damaged the pylon, creating a tiny crack. Over the next several weeks. With each takeoff and landing, that microscopic crack grew, a hidden flaw waiting to trigger a catastrophe. On May 25th, during the powerful takeoff roll, the weakened structure finally gave way. Then SPS concluded that the probable cause was not a design flaw in the DC-10, but the improper maintenance procedures used by American Airlines. The aftermath of Flight 191 was profound. It led to stricter oversight of airline maintenance procedures by the FAA. Thence B's recommendations for airlines to adhere strictly to manufacturer-approved methods, ending the practice of cost-cutting shortcuts that could compromise safety. It also highlighted the importance of redundant systems and better cockpit warnings for pilots. If the crew of Flight 191 had known the true state of their aircraft, that the slats were retracted, they might have been able to save it by increasing speed, not decreasing it. Beyond the technical investigation, the crash left a deep human scar. We remember the victims, families heading on vacation, business professionals, and the dedicated crew. People like Lindsay and Jane, two young girls who were flying alone to start a new life in California. Their story and the stories of the 269 others serve as a solemn reminder of the human cost of aviation failures. A memorial was eventually erected in a park near the crash site in 2011, a place for quiet reflection. To honor those who were lost, the tragedy of Flight 191 is a sobering lesson in the critical importance of safety and diligence. It showed that even the smallest crack, the slightest deviation from procedure, can have the most devastating consequences. The legacy of this disaster is written in the safety regulations that protect millions of air travelers today, ensuring that the lessons learned on that tragic day in Chicago were not in vain. Thank you for watching. If you found this documentary informative, please like and subscribe for more stories from aviation history.